Hello and good evening. Welcome to Marble City Opera's evening of dramatic text reading of Winterreise by Schubert. I am Executive Artistic Director Catherine Frady, and I would like to thank you for joining us tonight.
Hello and good evening. Welcome to Marble City Opera's
Winterreise by Schubert is a song cycle that we will be presenting as a stage presentation with video projections to help tell the story from the point of view of the wanderer who begins a long winter journey after his beloved falls for another. The texts used for this piece are a set of 24 poems by Wilhelm Müller. This evening, we are going to have the pleasure of hearing these poems read and interpreted by our very own managing director, Brandon Gibson, and the fabulous tenor who is covering the role, Joshua Allen. Also this evening, to give you a taste of the music that you will hear at the performance, Brandon Kofer will be playing the opening interlude for each song before the poem is read. We really hope that you will enjoy these poems. So without further ado, we'll get started. Good night.
I came a stranger. I depart a stranger. May was good to me, with many a garland of flowers. The girl, she talked of love, the mother even of marriage. Now the world is so gloomy, the way is shrouded in snow. I cannot choose the time of my journey, must find my own way in this darkness. A moonbeam goes along as my companion, and on the white meadows I look for tracks of deer. Why should I hang around any longer, waiting for someone to throw me out? Let stray dogs howl in front of their master's house. Love loves to wander. God made it that way, from one to another. Sweetest to love, good night. I won't disturb you in your dream. It wouldn't be a shame to disturb your rest. You oughtn't to hear my footstep. Softly, softly, the door closes. I'll write on the gate as I go by it. Good night, so you can see I've thought of you.
The Weathervane.
The wind plays with the weather vane on my beautiful sweetheart's house. I thought already in my madness it's piping out the poor fugitive. He ought to have noticed before the sign of the house stuck up there. Then he'd never have wanted to look in that house for the faithful image of a woman. The wind plays inside with hearts just as it does on the roof, now only not so loud. Why do they ask about my sorrows? Their child is a rich bride.
Frozen tears.
Frozen drops fall from my cheeks. Has it escaped me then that I have cried? Oh, tears, my tears. And are you so lukewarm that you turn to ice like the cool morning dew? And yet you burst out of the source, your breast so glowing hot, as if you would melt all of winter's ice.
Frozen stiff.
In vain I searched for traces of her footsteps in the snow, where she walked through the green field on my arm. I will kiss the ground, piercing through the ice and snow with my hot tears until I see earth. Where can I find one flower? Where can I find green grass? The flowers are dead. The grass looks so washed out. Shall I then take no keepsake from this place? When my griefs are silent, who else will say anything about her to me? My heart is as if frozen. The picture of her is frozen stiff inside me. If my heart ever melts again, her image will flow away as well.
The Linden Tree.
At the well before the gate, there stands a linden tree. I dreamt in its shade so many a sweet dream. I cut into its bark so many a word of love. In happiness and sadness, it drew me back to it again and again. Today I had to wander too, past it in the depths of night. Even in the dark, I had to close my eyes, and its branches rustled as if it was calling out to me. Come here to me, old chap. Here you find your rest. The cold winds blew straight in my face. My hat flew from my head. I didn't turn back. Now I am many hours distant from that spot, and always I hear that rustling. You would find rest there.
Flood.
Many a tear from my eyes has fallen in the snow. Its cold flakes suck in thirstily the hot grief. When the grass wants to sprout, a mild wind blows around and the ice breaks into pieces and the soft snow melts away. Snow, you know my longing. Say, where does your path lead? Only follow my tears and the stream will soon swallow you up. You'll go through the town with it, in and out of the lively streets. When you feel my tears are glowing hot, there's where my beloved's house is.
On the river.
You who rushed along so heartily, you gleaming wild river, how still you've become. You don't say goodbye. With a hard, still crust, you have covered yourself. You lie cold and unmoving, stretched out in the sand. On your surface I engrave with a sharp stone the name of my beloved, the hour and the day of our first greeting, the day I left. Around name and numbers winds a broken ring. My heart, in this river, do you now recognize your image? Under its crust, does it swell to bursting in the same way?
Backwards glance.
It burns under both the soles of my feet, even though I walk on ice and snow. I don't want to draw breath again until I can no longer see the towers. I have stumbled on every stone in my hurry to leave town. The crows threw snowballs and hailstones at my hat from every house. How differently you welcomed me, you town of inconstancy. At your gleaming windows sang the lark and nightingale in contest. The round linden trees blossomed, the clear fountains splashed sparkling, and oh, a girl's two eyes glowed. Then you were done for, my friend. If I think of that day, I want to look back once again. I want to stagger back again, stand still in front of her house.
Will-o'-the-wisp.
Into the deepest rocky ravines, a will-o'-the-wisp lured me. How I'll find my way out doesn't lie heavily on my mind. I'm used to losing my way. Every path leads to the goal. Our joys, our woes, they're all a will-o'-the-wisp game. Along the mountain stream's dry bed, I wander peacefully down. Every stream will reach the sea, so every suffering will find its grave.
Rest.
Only now that I lie down for a rest, do I notice for the first time how tired I am. Wandering kept me merry on the inhospitable path. My feet didn't ask for rest. It was too cold to stand still. My back felt no burden. The storm helped to blow me on. In the cramped house of a charcoal burner, I found refuge, but my limbs won't rest. Their wounds burn so much. You too, my heart, in battle and storm, so wild and so daring. You feel in the stillness for the first time your warm, stirring with hot pain.
Dream of spring.
I dreamt of colorful flowers that blossom in May. I dreamt of green meadows, of joyful bird calls, and when the cocks crowed, my eyes woke up. It was cold and dark. The ravens shrieked from the roof. But there on the window pane, who painted those leaves? You're surely laughing at the dreamer who saw flowers in winter. I dreamt of love returned, of a beautiful maiden, of cuddles and kisses, of joy and bliss. And when the cocks crowed, my heart woke. Now I sit here alone and think about my dream. I close my eyes again. My heart still beats so warmly. When will you turn green leaves on the window? When shall I hold my beloved in my arms?
Loneliness.
Just as a somber cloud drifts through the clear skies, when in the tops of the fir trees a feeble little wind blows. Just so do I take my path with dragging foot through bright, cheerful life, alone and without any greeting. Oh, that the air is so still. Oh, that the world is so full of light. When the storms were raging, I wasn't half so wretched.
The post.
A post horn sounds from the road. What makes you leap up so high, my heart? The post doesn't bring any letter for you. Why do you throb so strangely, my heart? Now, yes, the post comes from the town where I had a beloved. My heart? Do you really want just once to have a look and ask how things are going there, my heart?
The old man's head.
The frost had scattered a seeming whiteness over my hair, so I believed I'd become an old man, and I rejoiced greatly. But soon it melted away, and I had black hair again, such that I shuddered at my youth. How far still till I reached the funeral bier? From red of dusk to light of dawn, many a head has become old. Who'd believe it? and mine hasn't achieved that on this whole journey.
The crow.
A crow came with me out of the town. Until today, steadily it has flown over my head. Crow, strange beast, won't you leave me? Do you really mean to take my body here as carry-on soon? Now it's not much further to go with my walking stick. Crow, let me see at last fidelity to the grave.
Last hope.
Here and there on the trees, there is many a colorful leaf to be seen, and I stay before the trees often, deep in thought, standing. I look at one leaf, I hang my hopes on it. If the wind plays with my leaf, I tremble as much as I can. And if the leaf falls to the ground, hope falls with it. I fall too, cry on the grave of my hope.
In the village.
The dogs bark, the chains rattle. People sleep in their beds, dreaming of many things that they don't have, consoling themselves with good things and bad things. And early in the morning, it's all vanished. Even so, they've enjoyed their share and hope what is still remaining still to find on their pillows. Bark me away, you watchful dogs. Don't let me rest in the hour of sleeping. I'm at an end with all dreams. Why should I linger among the sleepers?
The Stormy Morning.
How the storm has torn the gray garment of the sky. Cloud shreds dance about in dull dispute, and red fire flames go among them. That's what I call a morning, just how I like it. My heart sees in the sky its own image painted. It's nothing but winter. Winter, cold and wild.
Delusion.
A light dances in a friendly fashion before me. I follow it this way and that. I follow it gladly, well aware that it lures the wanderer from his path. Anyone who's wretched his eye willingly gives himself up to colorful wiles, that behind ice and night and horror show him a bright, warm house and a beloved soul within. Only delusion is the prize for me.
The Signpost.
Why do I avoid the ways other wanderers go by, seeking out hidden paths through snowed-up rocky heights? After all, I've done nothing that forces me to shun other people. What sort of foolish longing drives me into the wastelands? Signposts stand on the roads, pointing to towns, and I wander without measure, without peace, and seeking peace. I see a signpost standing, fixed before my gaze. I must go a road from which none has returned.
The Inn.
graveyard my journey has brought me. I'll turn in here, I thought to myself. You green funeral wreaths could well be the signs that invite retired wanderers into the cool inn. Are in this house, then, the rooms all taken? I'm tired enough to collapse. I am wounded even unto death. Oh, unmerciful inn, you nonetheless turn me away? On then now, only onward, my trusty wandering staff.
Courage.
If the snow flies into my face, I shake it off. If my heart speaks in my breast, I sing bright and lively. I don't hear what it says to me. I have no ears. I don't feel its moaning. That's just of idiots. Cheerfully out into the world, against the wind and the weather. If there's no God on earth, we're gods ourselves.
The mock sons.
I saw 3 suns standing in the sky. I stared at them long and hard, and they stood there, too, so fixed, as if they didn't want to leave me. Oh, you're not my sons. Look into others' faces. Indeed, I did have 3 just a while ago, but now the best 2 have gone down. If only the 3rd would go too, I'd be better off in the dark.
The Hurdy Gertie Man.
Over there behind the village stands a Hurdy Gertie Man, and with numb fingers he grinds away as best he can. Barefoot on the ice, he sways back and forth, and his little plate remains always empty. No one wants to hear him, no one looks at him, and the dogs growl around the old man, and he lets it go on. Everything just as it will, turns the wheel, and his hurdy-gurdy never stays still for a moment. Strange old man, should I go with you? Will you to my songs play your hurdy-gurdy?
This finishes the reading of the text, so I just want to say thank you to Brandon Kofer on the piano, if you want to wave to everybody, and Joshua Allen, tenor, who's covering the role for us, and Brandon Gibson, who you can all see. Again, I am Catherine Frady, the Executive Director for Marble City Opera. And I just want to thank you so much for attending this short little evening and preview into what Winterreise is about. This was, again, a dramatic reading, and I appreciate you all coming over to YouTube tonight and joining us instead of on our normal Facebook Live. And we had a few technical things at the beginning. So we thank you for bearing with us at the top of this performance, and we hope that you enjoyed getting to hear these poems and that you'll purchase a ticket to attend the performance of Winterreise by Schubert. It will be performing on November 6th and 7th at Trenham Hall, First Baptist, Knoxville. We have limited number of tickets available for our in-person, socially distanced performance, and an unlimited number of tickets for the streaming online. So if you still don't feel comfortable coming out in person to see our performance, you may still watch it online live streaming. So we hope that you'll join us for that. The tickets can be found on our website, marblecityopera.com. We'll go ahead and put a link in the comments for this video as well. Also, just to let you all know, we'll be following all of the CDC guidelines outlined for us by the Knox Health Department, keeping our patrons socially distant from one another. We will be requiring masks and having an extended amount of time where people can get into the space safely while they're keeping a distance from one another. Also, our performers will be at least 15 feet away from the first row of patrons to make sure that you don't come in contact with any singing droplets. Tickets can be found on our website, as I mentioned, and there will also more information about our event on Facebook page, as well as in the comments of this video. So stay tuned for more behind-the-scenes previews over the next 2 weeks. Next Thursday, 6 p.m., we will be showcasing Joshua Allen, who you heard read part of the text tonight. He will be singing for you 3 excerpts from Winterreise, so you'll definitely want to tune in for that. And I'll be giving a little bit of information about those 3 pieces from studies, and be talking about a book that I've been using to research this piece, and that Blaine Ziegenfuss has been also reading, and that is helping us determine what kind of performance and how we want to perform this piece. So I'll be talking a little bit about that book as well as those pieces. So I hope you'll join us for that, 6 p.m. next Thursday. And the week after that, I'll be doing a behind-the-scenes episode with Blaine Ziegenfuss, who is singing the role, and we will be talking all about the production, including a little bit of insights and background on the video projections that you will see in this production, which we are creating, which will also have the text, again, alongside in the video as you're watching the performance. The text will be there. So while it's being sung in German, we hope that this text reading is helpful for you to understand what the piece is about. We will also put the translation on our website. We thank you again so much for tuning in tonight and the next 2 weeks and coming to our show. Thank you so much. Have a